Hello and welcome to our presentation entitled Ending Self-Stigma for Justice-Involved Populations Being Treated with Medications for Opioid Use Disorder. I'm Shannon Gwin Mitchell, a senior research scientist at Friends Research Institute in Baltimore, Maryland.
And I'm Alicia Lucksted, a research investigator at the University of Maryland School of Medicine. Generally, in trying to reduce the harms caused by the stigmatization of any number of health conditions and other social identities, it's useful to break stigma down into several facets. In this case, societal stigmatization refers to the broad messages, disrespect, and discrimination that is unfortunately commonly aimed at certain subgroups by society. And in this intervention that we're developing, we're going to specifically address the anticipated stigma, which is the anticipation of societal stigma, and the internalized stigma, which is people taking in the societal messages that has really corrosive effects on their well-being, their motivations, and their self-concept.
One of the most overtly stigmatized groups in US society are people involved in the justice system who face discrimination in everything from employment and housing to the attainment of student loans. While it's estimated that approximately half or more of the people involved in the justice system are experiencing substance use disorders, there are few interventions directly targeting this group. Substance use disorder is a chronic health illness, but is not treated the same way that as other chronic health issues, with people with substance use disorder often being blamed for having the illness itself. One of the most effective treatments for opioid use disorder are medications such as methadone, buprenorphine, and naltrexone. Unfortunately, even the use of these medications is often stigmatized, and people who take them are being treated and labeled as unclean, as if they're not in recovery.
Because there are not tested interventions that address the stigmatization of this population, in our work, we're starting with Ending Self-Stigma, a program that my team created to help people with serious mental illnesses navigate the effects that stigmatization can have of that condition. It's particularly focusing on anticipated and internalized stigma. On the left, you see some of the inputs for ending self-stigma: academic research, clinical experience, lived experience, and several conceptual models, which we then consolidate into 7 practical strategies that people can learn in a weekly psychoeducation and skill building class that is both manualized and interactive and personalized.
So the grant proposal that Alicia and I currently have under consideration at NIDA is to modify the Ending Self-Stigma program, specifically tailoring it to justice-involved people with opioid use disorder who are considering treatment or using medications as part of their treatment. The first part of the ESS modification process involves a systematic literature review and some stakeholder and focus groups to refine the ESS intervention to specifically target these the stigma for this population. We'll then conduct 2 iterative rapid pilot tests of this modified ending self-stigma intervention, and further modify each of the ESS MJP sessions based on the flow of the intervention and the feedback we receive from the participants as well as the facilitator. Ultimately, we hope to finalize this refined ESS MJP intervention and the materials to be used for it for a future efficacy trial.
In the end, we anticipate we'll be able to both retain the core principles and lessons of the original ESS, which has made it quite effective, as well as tailor the details of content and delivery to the particular situation and stigma dynamics of this particular population. So we anticipate that we will end up with a intervention that is both practical to deliver and useful for the participants in reducing the harms of internalized and anticipated stigma so as to help them engage with and stay with treatment, as well as enhancing their overall resilience and recovery.
Thank you so much for your time. Please contact us directly if you have questions or recommendations.
Thanks.